Thank you.
Hello. We are live. Let me turn that down. How are we, ladies and gentlemen? Hello. Who have we got here? Mustafa, hello. Woods. Tipsy said is here. Hello, Cedric, man. Uchia says, Bobo, I really want to know your thoughts on the Thunderbolt's new marketing tactic. Ooh. Yeah. I see people, like, disagreeing with it. For me, I don't think I have an issue with it. You know? I feel like if you're in the general audience, it doesn't really matter, you know? And if you already knew about this movie, you knew that was a rumor anyway. For those of you who don't know, they're changing all the posters from Thunderbolts. And they're like, this was always a part of the marketing because they're tearing off the top of the poster and it's exposing underneath the new Avengers. So it's not that bad. I don't see the big deal. New Avengers. About to see Thunderbolts tomorrow. I'm hyped. Good. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people saw my review in the chat right now, but I really liked Thunderbolts. It's the first MCU... Like, again, it's not the most perfect movie, but for me, movies like that in the MCU are very much so needed, and that's because of the emotion that it has. It's like a... You know, there's just a lot of good things. I get quite into it in my no-spoiler review. I watched the first half, but I didn't want to get spoiled. Oh, God. What, did you watch it like webcam quality? How's it going, Rob? Mr. Harmless, hello. Yeah, I don't think it... Well, I mean, you could argue it does.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday.
But I think it's the kind of spoiler with the marketing that isn't really... It's like... It's like calling the Avengers movie like, oh no, you can't call it the Avengers because then people will know that they're the Avengers, you know? Or like Iron Man's origin, like, oh, he becomes Iron Man. I don't know, that's a bit pedantic, I admit, but you know. Yeah, I'm going to try and come out with a news roundup tomorrow, I think. There's quite a lot of news that I need to scoop up and dish my thoughts on. I didn't do a news roundup last week, so I've got a lot of stories to sift through. Some more recent, some a little bit older. We should be getting the Superman official trailer, by the way, apparently next week. Begsy, thank you so much for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that, man. Welcome to Superhero membership as well. And Rob straight away with the super chat. Thank you so much for the 12 euros. Cedric says I might watch Superman 3 days in a row. Well, I guess that depends on if you enjoy it or not, you know? Because if you don't like it, you really got to watch it 3 days in a row? You know, we still don't know if the movie... I mean, I've got a certain expectation that I will enjoy it. I hope I will. You know, I guess to put it this way is I've enjoyed pretty much every gun project. Some more than others, clearly, but, you know. That's from the previous stream, funnily enough as well from you, Rob. It didn't update to the newest one. Yeah, a lot of people... Well, we'll get into that in a second. But anyway, Rob, thank you so much, man. What's up, Boba? Don't know if you remember, but last stream I got your thoughts on A Dark Knight Rises casting for Batman. Dark Knight Returns, sorry. My debate with the lads has continued. I wanted to know who would cast for Joker and Superman. So Joker... I mean... I know this is like a... I've said this many times before, but... I work better with if you suggest fan castings and I can choose, because I don't really have a fan casting. I mean, there's some out there that, you know, people say Bill Skarsgård or a bunch of other castings, fan castings, to be honest. But Superman as well, I don't know. It's hard for me to choose unless I'm given a front runner list, you know. Maybe Jack Nicholson's son. Michael Fassbender. What, for Joker? Well, I suppose in The Dark Knight... to be fair, Fassbender would be pretty good in a Dark Knight Returns type avenue. Willem Dafoe as an older Joker? Yeah, you could do that. But yeah, Rob, I don't know, man. Superman. I can't remember if in A Dark Knight Returns, is Superman kind of aged in that comic book? I don't know. I can't remember for the life of me. How, like, you know, like, obviously different comic books do different aging on Superman. I can't remember from The Dark Knight Returns if they get across if Superman's kind of, like, aged a little bit. He is in the movie. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I've revisited the comic or the animation, so... Brendan Fraser. I'm gonna have to think about that one, Rob. Unless you come back to me with a couple of castings. Damn. Joker and Superman. Joker and Superman. He kind of looks stuck at 30 to 35. Seems like the official trailer is near. Yeah, apparently it is. Could be next week. I'm still trying to think of a fan casting who I'd like for a Dark Knight Returns Joker and Superman. But right now, my brain is just going blank. So I'm sorry, Rob, for a terrible response here. But I'll try and get back to you on that. He's a little old, not Kingdom Come old, though. How old is Matt Bomer now? I mean, he's not old. He's 47, so maybe Matt Bomer could play a little bit of an older Superman, you know? 47, and he's been a lot of fan casting, selection-y kind of material for a lot of people out there, so... he still looks youthful as a 47-year-old, so I'd say Matt Bomer, maybe. You know, he played Negative Man Larry in Doom Patrol. He's great. And he's such Superman energy. I think most people agree with that. It's just he never got that chance, I guess, to play Superman. I think he did audition for it years and years ago, though. But yeah, Joker... Paul Rudd Joker. But yeah, appreciate you, Rob. I'll think about Joker for a bit longer. Do you like the Ryan Gosling casting for Star Wars? Sure, why not? Like, Ryan Gosling's a really good actor. He's a likable guy. I loved him in a lot of projects since I was a kid. So for him to be in a Star Wars movie, which is like more of a... what, like Rogue Squadron-y kind of movie? It's not Rogue Squadron, like the Patty Jenkins thing. It's what, like Starfighter or something? Yeah, I mean, I think I would want him to be like Revan in a Knights of the Old Republic live-action thing, to be honest. But hey, if he's going to play a pilot, I think he could play a Starfighter pilot, so... Cedric, thank you so much for your super chat, man. DCU's got to get my money. Thank you so much, dude. The peach lives on. Not many remain from the peach days. But you will keep the meme alive. This is cinema. I just checked the Discord server. I don't know why that's in there, but... Okay. Cedric, appreciate you, man. Johnny... Oh, I thought you were saying Johnny Depp for Superman. I was like, God damn, no. Alright.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday. I'm not up to date on The Last of Us. I want to see Boba in the Superman suit. My God. My God. I don't know about... I mean... Sure, but... I'd need to get my hands on one. Any Green Lantern scoops? Yeah, I mean, well, I've got... believe it or not. Believe it or not. I think I was going to talk about this in tomorrow's video. I've got a souse. I've got a souse on the lantern side of things. So, it's not crazy stuff, but I know the name of the town that the lanterns investigate. I know a few things that are going on there. Nothing crazy, but just little kind of cool details like that. But I need to kind of go over again what I can and can't say. But it's nothing like I don't know the crazy super secret villain kind of thing. If there's anything like that happening. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the details again, and I'm like, okay. Okay, anyway, sorry, I don't want to get... I'll probably talk more about that in tomorrow's news roundup. Lantern stuff that I've been hearing. So yeah, I've been reading. How's it going, Anthony? I am not caught up to Invincible. I know. Please forgive. Trying to read out loud. Oh, Frank. Boba, did you ever consider doing a cosplay or buying one? Yeah, I mean... I would love to do a cosplay. I just think I'm the kind of person who's never organized enough to actually do something like that. I don't actually go to conventions a lot. If at all, really. I haven't been to one in like a few years. So do you see what I mean? I'm not against doing it. I was actually meant to go to Comic-Con last year, I think. But yeah, I would like to cosplay. That would be really awesome. But, you know, it's money. I'd want to do it good, but I don't have the time to make my own thing. But you never know. You never know. I would absolutely love to cosplay as The Flash. I'd love to do a good cosplay of, like, Robert Pattinson's Batman armor. That'd be sick. Yeah. Daredevil would be pretty cool. But I think my top two would be a super sleek speedster Barry Allen suit. And then, yeah, I would love to wear Robert Pattinson's Batman armor, you know? Because I feel like that armor makes you look bigger than what you are. So if I wore that, and I'm 6'2" as well, I feel like I'd look pretty cool in it. But I don't know. The cowl would be so cool. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Right, let's get back to the chat. I did not see that Daniel RPK may have revealed who the Hammer of Bravia is. No, I did not. You thought I froze? So yeah, I was just reading like the Lantern stuff that was messaged to me. So I kind of froze for like a good minute. Where did RPK say this? What, on the Patreon kind of thing? How's it going, Ash? Long time no see. What is it? The Ash from Discord from a while ago? Patrick Schwarzenegger for DC's Batman. I like Patrick, but I don't see him as Bruce Wayne in the DCU. If anything, I was really on board with Patrick being a younger Hal Jordan in the DCU or something like that. But obviously, that's not happening, so... I feel like Patrick could be someone, though. Someone. He already spoiled it. Where can I find this? On his Twitter? I feel like it's probably on the Patreon, right? Because I know Daniel RPK has a Patreon and sometimes he posts scoops to there. Boba, do you have any news? Capital Canala says from your sources about the production of the Batman 2. No. I don't really have like a direct source to the Batman Part 2. I know somebody who knows some stuff. It's hard to explain, but like as far as like the Batman Part 2, like do I know anything about it in term other than what's going on with Matt Reeves? No. I'm trying to see. I don't think there's anything crazy. I would have said it. Like, I would have told you guys. If there was, like, something pretty damn good about it, I would have told you. And anything I've said that is apprehensive is just based off of what I know about Matt Reeves' personal situation, you know? That's why I keep saying to you guys, if it comes to June, like, if we roll into July and we haven't had... Like, there should be a significant update in the next month or two, because they can't pretend as if they're going into production at the end of this year if they don't get started in the next 2 months. So I think we'll know either way if it's, you know, if it's being pushed back to early 2026 or not, you know? And to anyone who's like, if it does get pushed back again, if people say that, oh, it's been cancelled, blah, 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 like, do you really think after, like, the 5th delay or whatever it is at this point, they would delay it again? Like, why wouldn't they just cancel it? So, like, if they push it back to production early 2026, it's not cancelled. The way I'm trying to explain that is such that if it does get pushed back again, do you really think that they would play charades at this point and be like, oh, no, we're secretly cancelling it, but no, we're delaying it? No, like, they would just come out and say it's cancelled. No, I keep seeing people say for the longest time now, is it a divorce? Like, what I know with what's going on with Matt Reeves has absolutely nothing to do, well, with a divorce. I'm not saying he isn't going through a divorce. I don't know. That was just something people found out in addition to what is going on with Matt Reeves in the background, because they noticed he wasn't wearing his wedding ring, and he has always worn a wedding ring. But I think it was like at the Emmy, you know, when he did those like red carpet, those interviews at those, was it the Emmys or something like that? His wedding ring was gone. So this was around the time where a lot of people were saying, oh, there's something going on with Matt Reeves behind the scenes. And then there was a lot of people being like, oh, we know it's a divorce. And I'm like, I'm not saying there isn't a divorce, but what I know is like nothing to do with divorce. Now, a divorce might obviously weigh down the situation even more if that's on top of what I know. But yeah, the divorce is just, if you think they're, like, again, it's none of our business really, but this speculation about a divorce is not what people are referring to when they say Matt Reeves has got some personal stuff going on. And, you know, I can't really get into it the way people want me to, because, you know, the more, like, answers I give or the more direct questions I answer, the more people will decipher what could really be going on. All you have to know is that it's serious enough to disrupt his professional life at the end of the day. Like, I'm sure he's absolutely working you know, he's still a producer on God knows how many things. He's still writing the Batman Part 2. It's just, it's completely a situation where if you were dealing with something like that, you'd be like, how am I gonna do this efficiently? It's the strategy to boycott Superman. Like, what strategy? Batman Part 2 is dependent on how Superman does. I disagree with that. I don't know why that's even a narrative. The Batman Part 2 is dependent on Matt Reeves. It's not dependent on how Superman does at all. That's just a narrative that some scoopers or some other YouTuber out there has given a bunch of people. And so, therefore, a bunch of people adopt that theory in their brains and then they recycle it. You know, like, that's not true. That's not true. The Batman Part 1 was already successful, so they've greenlit, like, well, the active development of Part 2. It's not dependent on how Superman does, because the Batman is an Elseworlds situation. Like, they can make any, like, that's why they're looking into doing Constantine. Do you know what I mean? Like, Keanu Reeves is Constantine. What if he's just extremely lazy? I can promise you that Matt Reeves is not extremely lazy. Again, you do not, like, no, it's absolutely nothing like that, my friend. If you did understand what it was, you wouldn't be saying that. Anyway. I think it is too successful to cancel it outright. I mean, I don't know if I would say too successful, but what I would say is I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the situation adjusts to the point of where Matt Reeves completes the script and another director comes in and Matt Reeves, like, somewhat, I don't know if I'd quite say co-directs it, but you know, like the Russo brothers, or like two directors like doing a project, but Matt Reeves is half in, half out. I could imagine something like that happening. Or yeah, it being cancelled. But I am optimistic that it won't be, because I feel like they would have said that by now.
But so much of me is wrong.
Production Weekly reported that it started pre-production. Production Weekly is a bit dodgy, but it can be accurate. It's a bit like IMDb. That's the best way to look at that. IMDb, you know, with, like, for example, with Mark Strong, he was put down as Carmine Falcone like a year or so before the Penguin even came out, and a lot of us, including me, were just like, oh, it's IMDb, you know, we can't trust that. And it was right. Production Weekly is a similar thing with productions. Now, I can't remember if they said it's gone into production or if it will be soon, but I'll look into that a little bit more for tomorrow's video. Capital, as I said, I'm not going to comment on anything like that because I don't want to give any contextual clues as to whether it is or isn't something, or the more I eliminate or confirm certain situations, the more it narrows down certain things. Do you know what I mean? So this isn't me confirming or denying what you're asking me. I'm just saying I'm not gonna answer specific questions about what it is what Matt Reeves' problem is, because, you know, before you'd know it, the amount of times I would have answered people saying, well, is it this? Is it the divorce? Is it this? Is it that? Well, there would only be a few things left, you know? All I wanted to get across to people is that here's the situation. Just know that it's serious. Here's what the possible outcomes could be. And, you know, we're going to have to wait and see. But I do believe it's a matter of time until we hear something. It's not going to be until next year. We will hear. I will be making a video if we do not hear in 2 months' time. Basically, let me put it that way. It would be kind of very strange if even James Gunn, or I expect it to come out through Deadline or something like that. Something in the next couple of months. Or Gunn might just say through Threads come July. I don't know. I feel like maybe a trade would still get wind of it being pushed back till next year. We're going to have to wait and see. I know I keep saying those words. We're going to have to wait and see, but it truly is that. King Bob, where did you hear that about the Hammer of Baravia? Because, Hammer of 2 hours ago. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I buy that. Okay, so without saying who it is, the Hammer of Baravia thing is already a theory that people have already gone over. So I'm not saying Daniel RPK is wrong, but what I will say is you know, he's had misses, lots of scoopers have misses, so Frank Mondor, thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
I don't know if those are working. Can you hear these clearly? But really appreciate that, Frank. $20 super chat. Very, very kind of you.
But so much of me.
I'm just gonna pull that up on stream, Frank. Bear with me. Where are you, Frank? There you are. Little gift for the best YouTuber I know. Thank you so much for again the support, but the kind words, man. It really does mean a lot. And everyone else watching or just tuning in, really appreciate the support on the channel. I was going to answer something else a minute ago, but oh, Ash, absolutely. Would I be open to seeing Marvel use a similar tone to Thunderbolts? Absolutely. Thunderbolts was refreshing, and what the I called my review, Thunderbolts is exactly what the MCU needed, because it wrote the all while it's got issues here and there, it wrote the film with characters and emotion at the forefront of the priorities, the priority list. You can still have comic book entertainment, action, spectacle, all of this stuff, but why do you guys think Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, whether you say, oh, I don't know about number 2, whatever, but they're all very popular. Why? Because James Gunn made you care about the characters. Thunderbolts is getting really good reviews because, well, it's shot quite well. The action's pretty damn cool as well, but the characters, I really cared about them. I wouldn't say I'm in love with every single character, but it connected with me literally, emotionally. That doesn't happen every time I watch an MCU movie. Sure, if you're watching Brave New World, you might be like, Sam's really going through it. I hope he pulls it off as the new Captain America. But do you particularly care? Do you give a shit? I'm not saying you don't, but did you give a shit in the same way as maybe you felt during Thunderbolts? That's the difference between something like Brave New World and the way they wrote the characters in Thunderbolts. So, I don't know, man. We might not all agree there, but I know that's why Thunderbolts is getting good reviews. It's because of the ideology I keep saying on this channel, and it's what James Gunn has said before. And the reason why I'm pretty optimistic for the DCU is because you need to have emotion, any kind of emotion. You have to have it. The characters are absolutely the most important thing that you need. Without it, the audience just won't care. You'll get a Black Adam. You'll get a Fast and Furious. You'll get a movie, an entertainment spectacle movie where it's okay, that was fun, but you don't walk away really wanting to buy another ticket to see it again, let alone ever wanting to buy the Blu-ray. And, do you really care that much about Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam after seeing that? Who the living crap gave a shit about Sabak in Black Adam? The most forgettable PS2 villain, conjuring an army of the dead. It was just. I'm sorry, but that. I just movies like that are so bad. Like, I don't care about any of those characters. So I know I'm beating a dead horse through saying this, but I'm trying to really spell it out. The way comic book movies, I think, will connect with audiences in the future and what they need to prioritize and where it's been going wrong with Quantumania and, I don't know, the Marvels and, you know, sure, you might like Brave New World. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie. I'm just saying it didn't hit emotionally in the same way, or I don't think we cared enough about the characters as what you did with Thunderbolts. Oh, come on, Sabak. You know, do you remember Sabak in Black Adam, guys? The CGI on him was terrible. He kind of came out of nowhere. The plot for him was absolutely terrible. He's like, okay, my great-great-great ancestor was going to be wearing the crown of, what's it bloody called? I can't remember. So I'm going to do it now. Ree! And then he, like, necromanced a bunch of skeletons out the ground, and it was just the most formulaic comic book trope I probably could have ever have written at the age of 9 years old. So I know that's really harsh criticism, but it was the reason why the movie was entertaining in other areas. It's like, oh yeah, it's Dwayne Johnson, it's Black Adam, he's got cool powers, oh, you got the JSA. There are good parts to the movie. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying if you keep pumping out Black Adams, if you keep pumping out, I don't, you know, like other types of movies like that in the comic book space, you are going to not have the general audience interested in seeing comic book movies. But if you come out with movies like Logan, that did very well. The Batman, something very, you know, ambitious and different. Thunderbolts for the MCU is refreshing to so many people because it's broken that formula. It's definitely a low bar, which is why I don't think Thunderbolts is an absolutely incredible movie. But it's smashed through that bar because the MCU bar was kind of around here somewhere, wasn't it? But like Thunderbolts kind of broke through and made us care a bit more. So that's the way I would articulate that. Anyway, Frank, I just want to say thank you again for that super chat.
Thank you.
It was an abomination that I can't even remember, says Frank. Woods with the super chat. Where are you, Woods? I need to find your super chat. Bear with me, my friend. And you know, Aquaman is like... Aquaman and Lost Kingdom was a bit of a similar boat. It was a fun popcorn movie. And when I say popcorn movie, what I mean by that is... Again, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means you don't take it too seriously. You're there for some entertainment, like watching a Fast and Furious movie. But you're not looking for some, like, cinema level shit. And comic book movies can be better. I think our standards have dropped dramatically for this stuff. But we need to do better. We must do better. And no matter what flaws there are in Superman, and what critiques that I will probably have for it, I know it will probably succeed in my most important area. At least I hope so. And that is making me care about the characters. So James Gunn is exceptionally talented in making us care about... You know, he probably will be very, very much so making us care about Superman, Lois, and Metamorpho. You know, this shouldn't be any surprise for anyone. But obviously, some of the writing and this, that, and the other. Have I watched Sinners? Yeah, I really, really loved it in many ways. I feel like it completely fell off at the end. Like, I would say... It's a bit of an unpopular opinion because I know so many people glaze Sinners. Rightfully so, by the way. But I feel like they, because of their love for it, they're not critical. Like, they've got the rose-tinted glasses on for where it gets towards the end. So I feel like the writing goes off the edge of a cliff when it comes to... You know when Haley Steinfeld goes outside, her character goes outside? Practically any moment after that is where it turns into, like, Shaun of the Dead. You know with, like, watching a Shaun of the Dead movie kind of situation, you don't care about the writing or how contrived it is that they might get away, or like, oh, isn't that convenient? That zombie could have come through and killed them or something. But it's Shaun of the Dead. Who cares, man? It's a popcorn movie, right? It's great. I would say that Sinners is like this consistently awesome movie through and through, up until that point in where it completely changes into this slapstick comedy genre of writing. So no, yeah, Super Blink. Absolutely. Like, the music in it was amazing. All of that. Well, like, it was well shot. The cast was incredible. I just think that the writing, like, went off the rails towards the end, the very end of the movie, and then they also not consistent with, like, the way even vampires even act or feel things. But yeah. No, I really like the first act, man. And even, you know, when you got to the party and stuff. But do you guys, for those of you who've seen Sinners, please, you must see where I'm coming from here. Do you see what I mean by, like, the slapstick comedy moment? Like, as you get to the end. You know, when they're like, oh yeah, fucking come on then, you motherfuckers. And then, like, they all start coming in. And it's like, you do realize there was, like, 45 to 50 vampires outside. And there's only, like, 5 freaking humans. 6, 7 humans in there. Where did all those vampires go? Where did they go? And when Michael B. Jordan did that mercy killing, why did Haley Steinfeld's character and the other Michael B. Jordan suddenly be like, oh, we need to get away? Like, you could have just destroyed them there and then. But no, because of plot armor and contrived writing, we're gonna just not do that. Do you see what I mean, though? The first hour and a half of the movie wasn't like that. I don't know. I know this is like blasphemy for Sinners right now, but I really like Sinners. I just really... Oh, do not get me started. Rashab, I'm glad you're here. Then Michael B. Jordan literally teleports into the lake at the end, and you're telling me every single vampire who loves their Lord and Savior just... This is what they did. They watched Michael B. Jordan go into the lake and walk up right behind that lead vampire. And they're just like, oh no, don't do that.
I just, oh.
Guys, that is the level of writing in Sinners at the end. So I think it just... That stuff really rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, how do you have the first hour and a half of the movie, like, really consistently this kind of, you know, it has a certain tone to it. It has parts of levity in it in, like, the most charming ways. It builds up really well. The vampire kind of atmosphere is really cool. And if anything, it compounds. It gets cooler and cooler and creepier and creepier. And then, I'm telling you, it turns into Shaun of the Dead. No, but don't give me the whole excuse of, but Boba, it's a vampire movie. No, don't give me that. Don't give me that. Like, that doesn't invalidate what I'm saying. It doesn't. You know? That it doesn't excuse, like, any of the points of, like, critique that I'm saying. Anyway, I'll shut up about that now. But if you hadn't thought about that, maybe think about what I said. Like, by the way, I understand that we all have different strokes for different folks. You might not care about that. You might be like, oh, well, you know, I know that he teleported into the lake at the end. It doesn't bother me. Okay, cool. You don't care about, like, how sloppy that writing was. That's fine. I know that sounds so patronizing to say, but that is it at the end of the day. And people have kind of different standards for it. And if they're, like, really loving this, that, and everything else like I do about Sinners, that is enough for them, and they don't care about that. Interview of the Vampire TV show is incredible. I agree. I love Interview of the Vampire, and I want season 3. Interview, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Interview of the Vampire with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in, like, probably like 10 plus years, but I don't know what you mean by that, Akashi. Oh shit! Wait, Woods, I didn't even read your super chat out, dude. Sorry. I think I just went on a mad one about Sinners and got carried away. Now, see, True Boss says what you're saying is valid, but it's honestly a pointless critique, in my opinion. What we were watching is ridiculous in the first place. That's where I would completely disagree, because why wouldn't you want a consistent level of writing in a movie? Like, again, it all comes down to standards. Like, your standards are such that to you, you're watching something like that, which is obviously fiction and crazy, so it doesn't matter, but you know, at the end of the day, if you're a critic or like, you know, like myself, I try and critique or review things, you have to take certain things into account. And for me, yeah, I take into the acting, the casting, the way it's shot. I try to, at least by my standards. You know, every facet, like all the things that I love about Sinners. But then there's writing. There's consistency of writing. There's the plot holes, and why did they do that? Because it just really completely falls. You fall down a trap door. So it doesn't matter if something is Star Trek and you're on a fictional space that can jump to hyperspeed. That's ridiculous, right? But you don't want bad writing. But sometimes people don't care about sloppy writing, and that's fine. Do you see what I mean? You can still really enjoy a movie. This is always a bit of a disparity between different audiences and people who critique stuff. I've had it for like 8+ years on this channel. Some people like super agree. Some people say it's nitpicky. Some people say, well, why does it matter? You know, it goes round and round and round. Anyway, do I think we'll ever get back to the Savage Hulk roots? Thank you again, Woods.
Thank you.
My boy has been done so dirty. I don't know about Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. I think I don't know about you guys, but don't you think that other than, you know, seeing Hulk again with maybe She-Hulk and whatever the heck's going on there and Doomsday and stuff. Yeah, and see, I don't know if we're gonna... I don't trust the Russo brothers to bring us to, like, the Hulk that I want, you know? Rich says, I think lobbying for better writing in sci-fi/fantasy media is how we get stuff like Andor or Logan. Exactly. By the way, that's a really good point that Rich is making there. If we, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, enjoying something I'm more critical of, but if we don't like, you know, want better things like of a written quality, we don't get really well written things like Andor and Logan, for example. If you just say that the problems are acceptable because of the genre, you're disincentivizing improvement. That's a fair argument, yeah. Woo Master, I mean, I don't know what to say, man. Like, how do you feel about Michael B. Jordan just teleporting in front of every single vampire at the very end? Do you not think that was convenient? Do you not think every single other vampire would have seen him, but they didn't? Like, so the issue with that is it's contrived. The only reason that happened in the plot is to move the plot along. The movie and the script and the writing didn't reasonably explain how Michael B. Jordan got in front of every vampire to do that killing blow. And that is, you know, it's like if Luke Skywalker or someone like in any movie defeated Darth Vader through just teleporting and going bing, and you'd just be like, well, that was a bit. How did he get there without Darth Vader even realize? Wait, what? Like, and if we just accept that, it's like, you know, it's really lazy writing. It's really lazy. And I would say the only way, yeah, and lazy writing, by the way, doesn't inherently make a movie bad. I'm just saying that for me, Sinners is an awesome movie for me, but in the last act, like around about an hour and 20 minutes or so in, the writing It's still very entertaining. It was still very funny. The action and all that stuff was crazy and whatever. I subjectively still really had a great time. But the writing was very lazy, and that just... I was a bit like, oh, well, that's a bit like, why is this happening so much? And that's the end of that rant. But I would like to know people's opinions on, do you think we're ever going to get back to the Savage Hulk roots? Because I don't think there's much hope for that. And I feel like Mark Ruffalo's going to be picky and choosy from here on out with his time in the MCU, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Begsy makes a good point. They could have... so Begsy said sometimes it isn't the writing. It can be that a scene is just cut that fixes it, but it's not good enough to keep. Yeah, they could have cut it for time, but then at the end of the day, my issue would ultimately be that's the product you put out, so it still warrants the criticism, you know? But yes, absolutely. There are certain scenes that are ending, you know, are on the cutting room floor that could have made something make a little bit more sense. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and that's what they, you know, if to a more critical person, you still have to call it how it is. Do I think that Superman has the potential to hit 1 billion? I've always been really, really hesitant in saying that. I've always never wanted to say 1 billion because I just feel like... I don't know how to explain it, so I just feel like maybe it wouldn't get 1 billion. Does it have the potential? I guess. But I've got too much apprehension at that I just feel like anything around 700 million plus would be great for me. Anything above that is great, but I don't know, man. It's a bit of an uphill battle for Warner Brothers to get goodwill back from even the general audience. Like, forget about the Snyder cultists or anything like that. Or like even DC fans who went off the DC brand cinematically. Like, even the general audience didn't want to turn up to Shazam, to Aquaman, to Black Adam, Blue Beetle, etc., etc. So, yeah, Superman's like a whole different beast. But, you know, for me to, like, say, oh, yeah, it's going to get 1 billion, I don't feel confident in saying that. For me, I just think if it makes near to the Batman box office, then that'd be great, you know? But Woods, yeah, man, I would love that. I've always said that I think Edward Norton's Hulk was always my favorite version, and I think that's the weird thing. Like, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is meant to be Edward Norton's Hulk. That's the thing. I wish they kept Edward Norton. I like Mark Ruffalo, but do you know what I mean? Edward Norton would have been great. I don't think I had bad writing, Sigurd, all the way through. Again, I really like Sinners. Anyway, sorry, it took me a little while to get to your super chat, Woo Master. But Begsy sent in something. Begsy, with the superhero membership here, what's your opinion on test screening leaks? Personally, I find them useless because you don't know who likes the genre and who doesn't. Exactly, yeah. And test screening leaks as well. You know, for example, those Superman leaks that came out a few weeks back, I think they were published with the Reddit post. Like, were even admitted to be from a person who apparently hated the movie, fell asleep during it. So, like, no matter what, it sounded insanely biased. And I don't know if I'm going to speak about it in tomorrow's video, but the whole, you know, Lex Luthor, Army of Monkeys thing, and hashtag super shit, you know my thoughts about that. We spoke about that in the previous stream. But no matter what, when you write a leak out of context on a web page, and I gave you guys the example of, imagine if the Batman thumb drive, like a USB stick with an actual thumb, a severed thumb on it, was written on a Reddit post from somebody who didn't like the movie and put laugh my ass off crying emoji laughing face times 10. and that got out, people would have been laughing at the Batman before it even came out. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to like that Lex Luthor super shit thing, but what I am saying is wait until the movie, because I could list you an out-of-context spoiler written down on a Reddit forum post about your favorite comic book movie, and I don't think you could possibly argue with me that if you had a certain bias or like opinion about that movie or that director or that studio beforehand, that you would rip into that quote that I could make. I don't know, whether it's about X-Men, whether it's about your favorite MCU movie, I could take a joke or a line or something out of that movie, write it in a Reddit post, and if it had the same like lens that Superman has on it, where there's this scrutiny, inherent scrutiny that comes out because whether you don't like James Gunn, whether you are in love with Henry Cavill and you just want to restore this, I don't know what it is. No matter what, it will sound bad out of context and not seeing it in the movie. And it could still be bad in context when you see the movie. I'm just saying, I think it kind of exposes, if you're already shitting on it before seeing it for yourself in the context it's in, you have transparently given away the stance that you have. You've given away your confirmation bias against whatever it is you're going to go into watching. And I think it's as cut and dry as that. I think you can be a bit like innocent and naive to be like, oh, I don't know anything about this movie, I'm a casual fan, and oh, that sounds really awkward and that doesn't sound that great. But I don't think you should condemn it. You should go, you know, if you never heard that, right, and you saw it in the movie, you might have been like, oh, okay, you know. I don't know. We could go over that 1,000 times, to be honest. Master with the $10. Sorry, Boba, disagree. The last half of Sinners is probably the best part. No! The first hour and a half is the most strongest. Absolutely. But hey-ho. Thank you very much for the super chat, dude. But honestly, as we like to say here, different strokes for different folks. I'm not saying it didn't thematically, like, wrap up nicely in a way, or like, you know, I don't have issues with the ideas, it's more the execution, you know? So I could still get wrapped up in like the, oh, it came together like cool and stuff like that, and the way they shot that and the way the cast did that last half was all great. My issue is more the execution, basically. So I'm just going to get to your super chat in a second, Sequential. I just got a lot of scrolling up to do. No, yeah, Limey. I just joined the stream and I'm getting deja vu. Feels like this whole Sinners convo already happened in the stream ago. Yeah, I know. We got wrapped into it again. True Boss says, we'll just agree to disagree. There's gaps in logic in all fiction. I don't necessarily have a problem with that ending. What I do have a problem with is the ending of Thunderbolts. No, yeah, for me, it's more, I would say, you know, I don't know if Rich is still here, but what he has said to me before, and I completely agree with, is such that it depends on if, like, an issue in logic or, like, a plot hole is every 2 minutes. You know, if it's like that, then the movie's just going to trip up over itself constantly. But furthermore, what's more important is how big of an issue is said plot hole or logic or whatever in the movie. If it's such a moment in the movie where if everything after that only happens because of, let's just say, this convenience that the writer forced in, like, let's just say the character teleporting in front of every enemy he has to get past, then everything that happens after that is predicated off of that convenience that the writer, like, almost, like, broke the fourth wall and got Michael B. Jordan and placed him over there. That means everything after that is just, you know, it's not a it's very lazy to like do. So when a movie is full of stuff like that, True Boss, that's where one would take issue with it. It's not so much nitpicking every like, oh, well, that character, that stunt actor, when they ran towards him, like, went like this and flew backwards. If that happened a few times, I'm like, okay, like, you know. But if it's like a really kind of big moment in the plot, consistently, then that's, you know, it becomes more problematic. But not everyone cares about that. Not everyone even picks it up. Not, you know. And I know that, again, that sounds so condescending to say not everyone picks it up, but it's true. Like, back, Jesus, like 6-7 years ago on the channel, I never saw any issues with any of the things that I watched, really. I never would have looked at it through the same critical lens that I try to now. It's not like I go out of my way. I just think through watching stuff like this more, talking more, and being more involved in the space, you kind of... When you're like reviewing a movie, you become, you know, you kind of have, you look into the writing part of it, the filmmaking part of it. But there's a lot to appreciate, and it's really important to, like, what I would say that some people go down the rabbit hole of is not getting so stuck down one rabbit hole of, oh my god, this didn't make sense and that didn't make sense. There's more to filmmaking than that. There's, again, the cast, the cinematography, the directing, even the ideas that the writing would have been going, like, there's a lot, and sometimes that gets neglected. So even when I do point that stuff out in reviews, I try and still say, but you know, this was good, that was good, this was good, that was good. Like Wonder Woman's third act. It's D-Law says, what would I do with the DCU new Aquaman? I've literally been asking this for over 20 minutes. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get an Aquaman for bloody years. If anything, he'll be in the background. Did I like the Irish dancing? Yes. I thought the vampires were bloody brilliant. Right, sorry, Sequential. Took me a while to get here. The Batman 2 on Production Weekly. We spoke a little bit about this earlier, but I'm going to cover it in tomorrow's video. Don't get too excited. It would be, by the way, what I will say about the Production Weekly thing is, if they have actually got wind of something like that happening, it would make sense, because I've kept saying, I did, like, quite a while ago, I was saying May. But, like, you know, because roughly pre-production should take 6 months, but, you know, they could make it 5-6 months. That takes us, if they want to start filming around November, it should really be May or June. So technically the Production Weekly thing is roughly on schedule, like for like when we should start hearing about stuff, but it's not reliable. So do you see what I mean? Until we hear concretely that the script, and I feel like James Gunn would have said this himself, that, you know, thrilled to say that the Batman Part 2 has been greenlit for pre-production. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Do I ever dabble in anime or manga? No. It's not that I dislike it. I've never really got into that, like, when everyone else seems to. So I've never gone down that rabbit hole of being into all of these popular animated shows and, like, anime shows. Like, I don't know, like, isn't Demon Slayer really big or whatever? I've known nothing about any of that. Anyway, Sequential Art Chick, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, as always, for supporting the channel. And I'll give you a little penguin here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I dislike people saying that the Red Sonja movie being a fail due to trans director. They rewrote the script due to gender politics in the OG script. This is another thing I don't really know much about. Is that what everyone's saying? See, sequential. This is out of my sphere of what I frequent. I know you talked about Red Sonja here though on the live streams before. Can't remember what it was about. So people think since the director is trans. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, what I will say is more often than not, the whole rhetoric these days, if there's any involvement from somebody who's, I don't know, gay or trans or whatever, then the movie inherently is going to be, yeah. I'm not saying everyone believes that, and I'm not saying that, you know, there isn't a Batwoman style level of, like, implementation in script writing where, you know, they can make it really cheesy instead of, like, an organic messaging. But a lot of the time, it is just like, oh, you know, it's a massive rant about something that isn't even a thing. Or that would be the apprehension from a lot of audiences. They would worry about it. Sebastian Stan as Batman? I would say no. I like Sebastian Stan. Really good actor as well, but nah. Why? Because I said so. That should be good enough. Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker, though. The funny thing is, I know that is a fan cast, and I've seen the fan arts, but I can imagine Sebastian Stan acting like how Mark Hamill did as Luke, because you'd kind of have to, but also being a bit more like hands-on, and he would be more hands-on Luke because he'd be Jedi Master Luke. It would be great. So, like, unironically here, I think Sebastian Stan would be a sick Luke Skywalker recast, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Oh yeah, that new Sebastian Stan Thunderbolts promo. I have to admit, yeah, he was very unenthusiastic. Like, normally I don't, but when I hear people, like, say stuff like that, I'm kind of like, people are just projecting something onto it where he's probably, but no. I will say that hearing Sebastian Stan talk about a Thunderbolt skin coming to Fortnite or whatever it was, and he was, like, I know he smiled a couple of times, but I mean, he could have just been really fucking jet lagged or something, but he looked and sounded so, like, so disinterested. It was crazy. It's like, yeah, you can get this skin. Yeah, I might pull it up. If I can find it. I don't know if it was part of the joke, though. No, I don't see how that is effective in that marketing at all, being monotone. I don't see it. I don't see what benefit that... No. I do like the marketing of Sebastian Stan putting up the new Thunderbolts posters, though. That was good. But people talked about it. I get what you're saying, but I feel like, for me, that's just drawing a conclusion that isn't necessarily the conclusion. But hey, I could be wrong. Armed and dangerous. Again, again, again. Okay, to be fair, actually, now that Rich said that line, that does kind of make me think maybe what Akashi was saying. That part, yeah, was maybe a bit too deliberate. Again, again, again. Yeah, that just... I heard his voice and him standing there, like, in my head. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You've now made me question it. Wait, do you think that's Clayface, Cedric? Are you talking about that right there? I like how you think that's Clayface, because now that you kind of see it there, it looks like a blob mud monster Clayface. But that, my friend, that's got to be what you're looking at. But that is the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. A Star Wars Rancor. You know, in Jabba's palace? But I like how it looks like Clayface. I would have never have seen that until now. Yeah, Rich. Yeah, I've seen that. I saw it earlier. I can't find it. I thought I bookmarked that Sebastian Stan thing. Sebastian Stan as Oliver Queen. Nah. Yeah, I saw that new article about Michael DeLuca talking about Gunn and Superman. He's spoken very positively about it, but it's no surprise when it comes to Michael DeLuca or Pamela Abdi talking about Superman. You know, they're gonna always gas it up. We've seen an early cut of Superman, and I don't want to bury the lead. There's a lot of marketing about to roll out ahead of its release, but he really understood the assignment. Yeah, I'm gonna be very busy, guys, heading up into July. I remember it was kind of like this for the Flash movie. I was doing a lot of videos. You know, even covering TV spots. I feel like I've told people, I mean, I thought it would happen a bit earlier than what it did. But the marketing is about to tidal wave. And I'm going to be covering so much. And again, reminds me of the Batman as well. The bloody trailers that came out for that towards the end. News been dry, eh? Actually... Not really. I mean, tomorrow I'm doing a news roundup that might be too bloody long because there's quite a few things for me to scoop up. Like, nothing, I would say, crazy, but I didn't end up making a news roundup last week, so there's been lots of things I need to give little updates on. Yeah, Akashi, I would have to think that there'll be another countdown for the Superman trailer. If they did that for the teaser, it does stand to reason that they'll do it for the official trailer. Yeah, a lot of scoopers are saying that the trailer could be coming out next week. Did you guys hear about bloody Trump claiming that he's placing a 100% tariff on all films produced out of America that are brought into the country? And it's kind of like... I saw this one comment saying, like, so what? You're gonna film, like, fucking Lord of the Rings in Brooklyn? And it's so true, right? Like, what is Trump, like... Where are you gonna shoot Lord of the Rings in America? Like on a fucking volume, like on the green screen? I know that's kind of how they do it these days, but no! No! It's so fun, like... And the thing is, Marvel, you know, they're shooting Doomsday in London. DC Studios, they're moving their massive bulk of film production to a whole new production facility in Leavesden in London. What does that mean? It means that basically there'll be a 100%... Like, it says it right here. Trump claims he is placing a 100% tariff on all film... Like, here's what Trump said. The movie industry in America is dying... I can't do a Trump impression. A very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted... Like, he calls it a national security threat. This is a concerted effort by other nations, and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. It's just... Does he understand that probably some of his favorite movies that come into America... Like, Trump has probably got a few favorite movies, right? Does he realize that they're probably... Some of them are shot, like, in Scotland, in the UK, in Europe, in New Zealand? Does he really think that, like, other people, other countries... Like, Do I watch football? No, not really. Unless it's like the World Cup. Are you talking about soccer? No. Hold on, sequential. Sequential Archic with another $5. Bloody hell. Thank you very much, Sequential, for, as always, your super chat support. I'll spam a few pengies there.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. I think it's broken.
Thank you.
Did I shower today? No. I have not showered today. We've been painting the apartment and stuff, so I probably should. Also, Boba, what do you think about Red Sonja outfit Deadline released a full look at the outfit? It's not her own one. Has there been 3 different... let me have a look. Ooh. Frank, take care, man. Thank you so much. Oh, I want to see another look. I think I like it. Yeah, it looks. I think it looks okay. I don't know what it is. I mean, I like the. the chromy, like, silver steel chainmail look. I kind of want a higher quality image. Like, it's really blurry. I want to have, like, a proper look at it, but I like the sword. It's kind of like a Wonder Woman-esque skirt that they used in the DCEU. Yeah, I heard about the Adam Strange rumors. I don't really have much thoughts about it right now because I want to look into where the heck that source came from. You know, I've been out the loop, I'd say, for the past 48 hours, but I've caught up with a few things today, and you know me, before I try and make a video, I want to know exactly where it's coming from and stuff like that, so I still need to look into that. But yeah, I did hear about the Will Poulter Adam Strange thing. That's where I think the substance... I saw the comment as well, yeah. There was, like, eyeballs on it. But the eyeballs could mean anything, you know? It's like, oh, wait, is this happening? Don't forget that he's a comic book artist who... Yeah, he did... Did he do Tom... No, I mean, did he do Tom King's Strange Adventures? I think he did. I think I think I'm gonna have to address it in tomorrow's video, but I'll probably say something like, you never know, but just because the comic book artist put in a little eye emoji, they're probably just like, wait, is this happening? Or I see why people are being like, okay, maybe he knows something about it and that's all he can hint at. But I don't know. It's neither here nor there in my opinion. It wouldn't surprise me, by the way. James Gunn absolutely loves Tom King's Strange Adventures. The issue with Strange Adventures by Tom King is that it's a very Elseworlds Adam Strange adventure. I think it's a very, like, mature... Like, I really dig it as an Elseworlds story, but it's like, truly... Like, so... I think it alienated some fans, but it's kind of like an understandable thing because it's, again, Elseworlds. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn tried to bring that over to the DCU. Actually try and make a story where, you know, the way that sometimes heroes are presented isn't everything it's, like, made out to be or even look like. And without giving too many spoilers away for Tom King's Strange Adventures comic book, it's, you know, Mr. Terrific's really crucial in that. But it's like a really fucked up story, I'm not gonna lie. Especially by, like, you know, it's a lot about, like, these war crimes of the past being investigated in present day, where that goes, and yeah, it's... But again, I really feel like Gunn might want to highlight a superheroes, or, like, superhero story like that. That would be pretty nuts. But to be fair, some of the events in Strange Adventures, I don't know if Earth would have been potentially under attack by... What, can anyone remind me of the alien race that Strange goes to war against? The Picts. See, that always reminds me of, like, this race in, like, the Old Republic, like, Star Wars. Yeah, so the Picts? Picts? I can't say it. Anyway, I recommend reading that comic book, by the way. It's kind of, I think is it Black Label? I think it's Black Label. It is? I think it is. Yeah, DC Black Label, yeah. I do love me a good Black Label story. Ryan Curl says, bad news, I just twisted my movie set, so I can't much, only write. What do you mean you twisted your movie set? Twisted your movie set? What does that mean, sir? Try and avoid political talk in the live chat though, guys, because I feel like it always just ends up alienate. I mean, we occasionally we kind of do a flyby of politics if it comes up in conversation, but if you're like if you're having a full-on why Trump and not Trump, that's probably not going to end well. Oh my god, that is loud. Sequential, I said I think I brought it up, well, I didn't bring it on stream, but I think I kind of like it. I just want a better look. I haven't had a better look outside that deadline image. I haven't. No, I still need to catch up on Andor Keyblade. I haven't watched Andor, but like, long story long, I said this in my previous stream as well. I am so much looking forward to it. I want to sit down and dedicate multiple hours to watching it all at once. And because I haven't had a moment like that recently, I'm kind of like preserving my special Andor time. But what's ended up happening is that thing we could all probably relate to is where you still just haven't watched it. Christopher, hi, I'm here now. What's up? How's it going, man? Good to have you here. And anyone else who's here, there's 148 people. Say hello in the chat. I totally forgot about the stream goal, by the way. I'll just put that up. And by the way, check. I don't know if anyone can confirm for me, but in the description, I've got like a Discord invite, and I don't know if it's working. So I might need to update that. What do you mean, Ryan? What does twisting a movie set mean? What's twisting a movie set? Boy. Do I think Superman will appear in Supergirl? Wouldn't surprise me if he's kind of like there for a small scene as she comes back to Earth after having learned or like kind of found herself on her adventure with Ruthie. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. Nothing more than a couple of minutes. I don't know. Maybe Clark giving Crypto back to Kara, but to be honest, that scene could be in Superman, because we know for a fact that Clark right now in the events of Superman, as David Cornsweet described, it's more of a foster care situation. He's looking after Crypto, probably for Kara. So we might see Kara collect Crypto by the end of the film. But Supergirl, we could see a bit of a hey cuz at the end of the film. Good to see you here, Morgie. Yeah, I figured you'd probably be there in the background. We need to summon Mandy here again sometime. I feel like that's the only way Mandy appears every now and again. She has to be tagged on Discord or something. Psychosis, thank you so much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Alexander Skarsgård as Batman. I love Alexander Skarsgård. He's definitely got like the build for a I mean, is it? Do you reckon he's probably too tall for Batman? How tall is Alexander Skarsgård? Oh man, 6'4", Jesus. He'd be a tall Batman. I don't know. For me, I don't know if he's the right. I mean, maybe. The thing is, though, I get your desire, but realistically, as James Gunn said, Batman apparently won't be middle-aged, and Alexander Skarsgård is 48, turning 49 in a couple of months. We probably need somebody closer to Corrin Sweat in age. So, around 36, 37, 38. Jackson says, better late than never, right? Good to have you here, man. Shut up, Saeed. I'd say Joel Kinnaman if you were going to go up there with the Asian look. Joel Kinnaman, man. I really rate him. I'm just looking forward to For All Mankind to return. But yeah. SK, sup? Unexpected streaming today. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is here. We do the random streams. Will Arnett is Batman. Wait, what? What? I mean, I get the joke, but live action Batman? Yeah, I know, Said. I know. But you can still shut up, okay? You heard me. I'm joking. I'm trolling. Or am I? Ethan Peck. I still like Theo James, not gonna lie. Oh, I keep yawning. I apologize. Top 3 expectations for the first official Superman trailer. I have a whole video you can watch, but no, really. I do though. Top 3 expectations. I don't know, just like a broad, larger sense of the story. You know, considering we've not really had any dialogue so far, even in the sneak peek, it was the Fortress robots. And other than Crypto Take Me Home or Crypto Stop Crypto, we haven't had anything. So, dialogue, sound bites. You can imagine, like, as the trailer edit unfolds, there's little sound bites up from Lex. The music kicks in. The narrative continues with a Lois and Perry White kind of edit there, soundbite thing going into the trailer. That kind of gist. We haven't had a trailer like that. We will be getting a trailer like that with dialogue. Other than that, showcasing Superman's powers. I would love to see heat vision. Don't know if that's an expectation, but Superman like smiling, actually flying and smiling, like better shots of stuff like that. Those are like my expectations. Nothing too crazy, but I would love to see like a bit more, but they might be reserving some of his powers for the film itself, But what I'm looking forward to is obviously covering the trailer. Then we're gonna we're gonna do a discussion series video on all the questions coming out of the trailer. A lot of Superman content to come in the next couple of months. But then I hope that we can progressively move on to lanterns, and if any god is out there, also hopefully the Batman Part 2. But that'd be at this rate, man. That is kind of like, you know, we need a genie. We need a genie to make a wish. Wonder Woman news would be pretty cool, yeah, but in reality, I don't expect that for a little while still. Am I agnostic? I guess in the sense of that I can't disprove that there's some higher dimension, you know, like, for crying out loud, like Interstellar, where it's humans from the future on a who have transcended to a different dimension of existence and who are ensuring the creation of the universe with the Big Bang. So, like, do you know what I mean? If you want to call that a god, or like what we can't even comprehend as a god that created the universe because the Big Bang and evolution, like something had to create those particles and those particles before, like, what's the before the before the before the before? So that would, by definition, label me as agnostic, but I don't believe in a conventional heaven after earth in, you know, the Garden of Eden and water into wine and stuff like that. But I'm not saying that there isn't a god that you could just call that 3-letter word that we couldn't even possibly comprehend. So I don't know, but you know, I believe in aliens. You know, what if it's an alien race? But then again, something created the alien race. So I'm all over the place. I don't particularly believe in, you know. So you don't believe in the first 2 human beings? I mean, I believe that there was 2 human beings once upon a time. But if you're talking about Adam and Eve, like conventional biblical stuff, no, absolutely not. But if you do, different strokes for different folks. Oh, yeah. Another thing I expect would be the engineer. Please. Yeah, we have heard that there should be some kind of I can't remember who said this, but maybe we should be seeing that the engineer's powers are being showcased in the official trailer. But I feel like that's a shot in the dark kind of scoop. It's kind of obvious, you know, reasonable speculation there. Raj says, honestly, I just miss Titans and Boba's coverage of it. Yeah, those were the days, man. It's before that, the Gotham days were the days. There's always going to be a new phase. We're on like phase 8 of Boba right now. I do. I believe in Jesus and the Bible. Good for you, man. Good for you. Like, and that, honestly, like, there's no I feel like I have to state this because it's the internet. There's no sarcasm behind that. Like, if you guys are religious or not religious, obviously, that's absolutely brilliant for whoever believes in what. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. One-on-one convo with me, Boba, will make you religious. Are you having a laugh, Said? How's it going, Mark? Boba, I would definitely subscribe to your OnlyFans. Well, one day the hot tub stream might happen if I get 50 super chats in one stream. Maybe. I will be wearing the Batman cowl in the hot tub. Mm-mm. 100 Bobas are one gorilla. Is that Mr. Beast thing? It's out? What's out, Mary Shadow? It's out! Oh yeah, me too, Akashi, in terms of you saying you want to see Rachel and Nicholas's acting chops, for sure. Exactly, like in the trailer, any kind of dialogue will give us so much information we haven't had. Like, I have a lot of optimism about David's casting as Superman, David Corenswet, but getting a sentence or two from Holt as Luthor, Brosnahan as Lois, Corenswet as Superman, then it gives you so much, like body language, mannerisms, just the acting chops. That's the way to put it, yeah. A lot of... You hate his Clark Kent hair? Rich, no. I really like it. I think it's fine. I don't get the hate there. I've been defending that since day one. I think people associate that with like a Gen Z broccoli hair thing, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like in 2007, 2008, I had that hairstyle when I was 11, 12 years old because I had a bit of curly, wavy hair as well. And oh, did I miss a super chat? Let me have a look. Oh, I have. Sorry, Sequential. How did I miss that? When did you send that in? Oh, 10 minutes ago almost. 9 minutes ago. But what I like about Corenswet's Clark Kent hair is that it's not just like some other Superman's men who have had their hair exactly the same as their Superman look. So, you know, I like how it differentiates it. I think there's a really big stigma surrounding just having curly, wavy hair, as if it's just a Gen Z broccoli hair. It's like, no, bro. Like, people just have curly, wavy, you know, half straight, half curly hair, and it's just a bit messy. Like, why is that unique to Gen... I mean, I guess it's unique to Gen Z because so many Gen Z literally do, like, curl their hair, so it's a little puddle here somewhere. I don't know. Right, Sequential. I have found you. See you later, Saeed. I'm probably gonna stop streaming soon as well. We're reaching the usual mark of when we end soon. Boba! Well, first of all,
Guy like me.
getting all that.
All that meant I could have a better life. Meant I could have a better life.
Better life. Exam week. Oh, damn. Good luck, bro. Wait, why do you think Warner Brothers skips him in a lot of media? He has like 2 major TV appearances and Batman Ninja, one of the few instances of all 4 Robins. Wait, who are we talking about? Sequential. I might have been talking about something 10 minutes ago. Oh, Tim. Tim, honestly, I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. I guess, like, it depends on the media. James Gunn is here. What's up, Boba House of Wife and Kids? I don't know. I guess it depends on the media and like where Batman's at. But yeah, if he's like at the point of where Damien's there, then you know he probably should be involved. Poor Tim. But yeah, I know that like the thing about Tim, I think I learned about Tim Drake before even knowing much about him was that he has this reputation of being, you know, on the bottom of the priority list. I don't know, really. Yeah, I think they can as well, Akashi. I've always said that, you know, you could do lots of things like condense the Robin training, have Bruce obviously start when he usually starts, but you don't have to train each one for a bunch of time. Things like that could allow Bruce to still be 36, 37, have Tim Drake as his current Robin while Damien comes in the fold. I can't wait for that day. Like, when we actually learn more about the DC Batman and what the hell is going on there. Oh my goodness gracious me. What's your favorite Gen Z word? Skibbity, Riz? I don't know. I need more. I don't know. Shout out to Sequential Archic though, guys. W's in the chat, please, because she is always majorly supporting the streams.
Guy like me. Getting all that?
Speaking of Rob has been going ham recently. Rob, thank you very much for another super chat from you, my friend. I'm forgetting what all these hotkeys are now. Rob, you must be going ham. They should only focus on Dick Grayson. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I love Dick Grayson, but at the same time, oh god, every time I say that, somebody clips it. Every time. But we shouldn't always focus on all the popular characters. The best is definitely Riz. A guy like me. Getting all that. Rob!
Thank you.
Again. Thank you for the 12 euros here. Boba, thoughts on a world's finest movie in the DCU? I would love to see Metallo as the villain. I think if he's written right, he has real potential. Who else would you reckon would make a good villain? For Batman and Superman to go up against, Dan. I think I would want more of like a... I don't know if it would be one villain. I'd want like I don't know if I would say like a whole team, so not necessarily like a Legion of Doom, because that could be like a whole much bigger threat. Brainiac would be a much bigger threat as well. Like Metallo's a good baseline because he's very powerful and Batman's help could be very useful there, and you know, he's formidable, but I would like maybe one or two more around Metropolis, or well, it doesn't even have to be unique to Metropolis, I suppose, but Vandal Savage is way too powerful, to just spend on that world's finest movie. I would want Vandal Savage to be way bigger. But I guess never say never. Like, Gunn could be like, hey, Vandal Savage, I'm not going to make him like a big bad. I'm going to make him just a world's finest type movie. But yeah, I feel like Vandal Savage would be more of a Justice League level threat. But Rob says Metallo. I mean, who am I forgetting about here? You think they're going to choose Vandal? Who cares about the Legion of Doom? I want the Legion of Goon. God damn it. The thing about Superman villains, I'm looking up every Superman villain. They're so powerful. That's why I think, to be fair, Rob, Metallo's like a very good baseline, but I feel like somebody else should be involved. I don't really want to say Toyman. Toyman could be Parasite. I think, who knows? We could be getting Parasite in the Superman movie. I guess a Batman. I guess it depends on where it's set. Gotham, Metropolis. I guess it doesn't have to be set in either location. It could be somewhere over the world. Livewire. I would like two villains to work together. So Mongol, I would say no, because Mongol with Warworld is just way too big of a threat for just Superman and Batman to face. So that would be more of a, you know, Justice League threat. You know, a proper team. Ultra Humanite, Grodd. If Grodd was involved, I'd really want the Flash involved. Ultra Humanite would be pretty cool. But I think I'm just struggling to link who Metallo would work with. Like, maybe in a World's Finest movie, you could have Luther cook something else up while... I just feel like it'd be a situation where there's a couple of villains causing issues rather than just one. I'm surprised people are saying Mongol, because we're not talking about a Justice League level threat here, guys. We're talking about a World's Finest movie. So if there's a World's Finest movie, who would Batman and Superman face off against? Mongol, way too big. You could have Lex with Metallo. I think my hesitation about talking about Lex is really because would he be back so soon after the Superman movie? I wouldn't say no, but like not right away. Vandal Savage, I think I've got a closed mind with it because I feel like Vandal Savage is too much of a powerful threat that they would require more heroes than just Batman and Superman. Lex and the Joker, I know they've worked together before, but that's just madness. That would be mad. I wanted to write it off, but if they could actually make Nicholas Holt's Lex work with like Batman's Joker, that would be cool. That would be cool. And maybe Metallo's more of like a Luthor-made thing. I don't know. Bane, yeah, I like the idea of, yeah, Bane is, you know what, it could be more of a secret, ooh, you know what, okay, here's one for you, World's Finest is Batman and Superman versus the Secret Six. How about that? So we heard that they could be doing a Secret Six level thing, right? Bane and Deathstroke movie, which could really be a Secret Six thing. What if you had, like, I mean, that might be too OP, but we've got Superman here. And Batman versus potentially multiple villains. Superman could, but you could say that about any villain. You really could, so Also, by the way, I'm super intrigued about James Gunn's Superman power scaling. Because, you know, Superman in the sneak peek preview clip had 14 fractured bones, punctured bladder, lungs, and stuff. I've got a sneaking suspicion that that wasn't done by Kryptonite. What if, because I've talked about this before, like, you can't expect to tell me that if that kaiju just stamped on Superman, like 10 times in a row, that wouldn't hurt him. Like, I feel like Superman and Lois on the CW did a good example of how, if Superman gets punched enough, it does hurt, right? So I feel like maybe, let's just say that Kryptonite isn't involved. What if the Hammer of Baravia really did actually batter Superman? And, you know, I don't know if he underestimated him or what, but what I'm trying to get to is if... I'm just quite fascinated how much damage this Superman could take before... I know you don't want to make him too weak because he's meant to be very powerful, but I'm just saying, if you're against Bane and some other characters in the Secret Six, maybe there could be something there. Yeah, Bob, as well as in the comics, but this is where it greatly differs with power scaling. Rob says, to be honest, if you couldn't tell, I'm just dying to see Metallo. Yeah. That would be cool in a cinematic universe level budgeted, Metallo. Hugo Strange would be cool in terms of, like, the intellect that would go into a plan of trying to take down Superman and Batman or, like, whatever, but it needs to be more than him, which is why I think for now I'm just saying, like, a blend of villains like the Bane and Deathstroke movie, kind of Secret Six potential thing. I did hear about that, Limey. I didn't miss it, CDX. I was just answering this one before moving on to the next one. A psychological villain for them both would be pretty hard. I feel like BVS kind of did that in a way with Eisenberg's Lex trying to get to Batman and Superman. Psychological wouldn't be a bad idea, but, you know. Yeah, I agree, Akashi. That's what I mean, like, I think people think if Superman could be hurt by blunt force, a bullet wouldn't bounce off him. That's so not true, is it? A bullet hitting Superman would bounce off him, but a punch or from Doomsday or a kaiju stamping on him is way more than a bullet. That would give him a headache, at the very least. So I really do suspect that James Gunn's made the power scaling of this Superman a bit more vulnerable. Maybe. It doesn't mean bullets don't bounce off him, but it probably means that, like many comics, many shows or whatever, that, let's just say the war suit was smacking the living crap out of him, like that would take it out of him a bit. It doesn't mean that you punch him and, like, in a Lex war suit and nothing's happening to him at all. Like, it's... And sometimes people critique that, and it's like, Superman can actually be hurt without kryptonite. And magic. Like, even without kryptonite and magic. Right. Great question, though, Robin. That really had me thinking, and I'll keep thinking about it. And again, thank you so much for the stream support, my friend. Woomaster as well, thank you for your consistent support. Where are you, though? I'm trying to find... Aha. Oh, man. What's my theory on what Gunn is secretly writing? What's your theory on what Gunn is secretly writing? Do you think it's Brave and the Bold? Rob, take care. Thank you so much for being here for as long as you have. And again, the stream support. Really do appreciate it, man. I have talked about this before in a video. I'm just trying to remember what I said. I think it could be worlds like so. They said they didn't want to name the writer for the Brave and the Bold to not put too much pressure on a guy, and that could still be like a little meta thing to how it still is James Gunn. Like he could be co-writing it with this other person, but at the same time, I don't think. Again, we have theories from the fandom that, you know, I feel like more often than not, a lot of theories in the fandom people take to just being automatically true. So I don't know if it, but what I would still say is like Gunn might be seriously excited about the opportunity of writing not an Elseworlds movie, a World's Finest movie. I think I said that. I'm trying to remember what he said about, because he said something like he's having so much fun writing this new script. I don't think it's Creature Commandos season 2. I mean, it could be, by the way, but he said he's been writing this for a while. Did he? He did debunk, actually. I think he debunked that it wasn't Creature Commandos season 2. It wasn't something like that. So it's definitely something new. So if it's not Brave and the Bold, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a low-key kind of World's Finest-esque project, but like you have to think, what would Gunn's favorite DC character, as he said before, is Batman. You think it could be the Bane Deathstroke project? That's a good suggestion. Yeah, he could be having a blast with that. It's another, would you believe it, another team project where Bane and Deathstroke, as reported, might not be the only characters in the movie. So again, could be Secret Six. He could be having an absolute blast. Yeah, I wonder what the script was that the cat was sitting on. Let's just pray that Gunn is reading the Batman 2 script and he can give it the green light for pre-production. But yeah, it's a good question, Woundmaster. It could be a number of things, to be honest. Akashi, I think I would answer that after I saw Superman. If he did a really good job with Superman, then I wouldn't be against him maybe doing something just with one or two characters kind of thing. Or like a supporting cast like Superman, but still focused around one character. But yeah, I wouldn't be against a team project again. The Bane Deathstroke one fits nicely because it's a team project. It's Secret Six, most likely. Because again, a lot of people think that it's just a Bane Deathstroke buddy cop movie. It's not. Like, the only thing that was reported is that apparently Bane and Deathstroke are two of the characters in this movie. They're like the larger roles. So when you look into that, it seems to make sense that it could be a Secret Six thing. So yeah, Gunn could be doing that. That's a really good suggestion. What fan casting, Hunter? Yeah, 3 episodes of Creature Commandos is out on YouTube now. So if you haven't seen it, oh no, wait, is it? Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, wait. Wait, what? First 3 episodes. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But it's only in Italy, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Why just there on YouTube? So yeah, you can watch Creature Commandos episodes 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube in Italy, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland for absolutely free. It's a YouTube video. Have you played the Arkham games, Boba? Yep, I was playing them when I was in like high school when they first came out. So when did Arkham Asylum? I played Arkham Asylum when I was in year 9 in school. So I was about 14, 15 years old. I remember playing that on the Xbox 360. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. And yeah, I played all the others. Haven't played them properly in a while, so. Wait, you're English too? Didn't even how do you not like do I sound like I'm saying water like American? I say water. How do you not know I'm British, man? SK. You're a fellow Brit. You should know that. If I was saying like water, I need hey guys, I need to get some water. Yeah, I know I gather you probably realized when I said year 9. But my accent isn't American, so I pulled out the water accent. Yeah, we do have different accents in different parts of the UK, so you know you have more of a Brummie accent if you're from Birmingham, and then obviously Scottish accent in Scotland, to a Welsh accent in Wales, or you know, there's lots of different. There's a lot of accents. Yeah. Halo 3. Fuck's sake, Rich. Halo 3. Halo 3, mate. Harry Potter. Hey, man, we pronounce the T's. Rich, we don't need to have an accent debate. But we pronounce T's. You pronounce your T's like D's. Which is why, if you want to say water in American, you just say it with a D. Water. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Water. Where's your T? Where's your t? Water. T. Yeah. I say I didn't want to start an accent war, but I have. Bitch. But yeah, no, but when the Americans take the piss out of the English, it's like hyperbolic, like, oh yeah, water. Hey, I'm saying water. It's not that bad. Yeah, see, Rich, very good point. Very good point. But I think that's what makes it even more hilarious. You say time, not dime. But that's one of the only... I would say, to be fair, let me rephrase what I said. You pronounce your T's at the beginning of the word, not in the middle of the words. So, if you have a word like time, Americans will say t, so like time. But if it's a T in the middle of the word... Then, yeah, that's a D. That's a D, my friend. Wait, Silhouetted Animator with the $5 frickin' super chat. Mads is like, this happens every stream, man. Hey, I think it's just inherent with me being British, you know? I feel like a lot of, like, YouTubers who cover comic book media are, like, American or Canadian or something like that, so... most of my audience is American, so the accent thing comes up inevitably. I'm not falling for your bait, Rich. I'm not doing it. You will not win. I'd love it. Wait. Silhouetted. You need the sacred penguin.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
I'd love a DCU Metal Man animated film by Jenny I can't pronounce that. I know how this sounds, but I can't say it. Tartakovsky, aka the guy behind Samurai Jack and Hotel Transylvania. I have to do this like in school. Tartakovsky. 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 Tartakovsky? Tartakovsky. In American, that'd be Tartakovsky. 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 But I'd be like, Tata. Tartakovsky. Anyway, yeah, Metal Man, man. Yeah, the tease of that in Creature Commandos, it would be cool to see back in G.I. Robot's time and Sergeant Rock's time what came of the Metal Men. An animated project would be really cool. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just trying to think, like, Alan Tudyk probably would not be William Magnus, though. Even though he voiced him. Which would be a bit of a weird debate behind the scenes, because technically that could use Alan Tudyk's likeness, you know? Take care, Hunter. T-side Tintin. God damn it. American accents don't sound as fancy. I suppose. I don't know. I like American accents though, but that's because I'm not American. Thank you, Silhouetted. Appreciate you, bro. Especially southern ones. Or southern ones, southern ones. Yeah, I'm from the south. I'm not saying I have a fancy accent, but I'm not from up north. I'm from south of England. I think that was that thing you showed me, Rich, isn't it? That Tintin thing. I only got one for today. Getting surgery done this week. Not feeling well. Oh, man. Silhouetted. I hope that goes okay, man. No worries whatsoever. And, yeah, I hope you're okay, man. I hope it's just like a routine, standard thing, you know? Also, British accents literally exist because they wanted to sound classier than the lower class Americans. Wait, what? You probably know some deep-rooted thing about that. We spoke about the Trump movie thing earlier, Sviwe. I think it's stupid, obviously. And you know, everyone's saying it's not even happening anywhere and it's just Trump flexing, but you know, these days I have no idea what will come of what. I don't think it would end too well. Like, even if it made some movement, I can imagine that they would regress from it and you know, it wouldn't be 100%. Like, he still might be fucking with it, but it wouldn't be like to that extent. But I live in the US and you haven't even gotten started on how other states say there. What, the word there? Like there? There? Over there? We may not say our T's, but you are saying but you are saying wooter. Wooter. Water. Oh god, we're going round in circles. We've been here before, Mr. Frodo. We're going round in circles. Not to get political, but sometimes I think about things. It's hard to pick a favorite, man. I'm not actually... I've said this quite a few times. It's like with movies. I wouldn't say I read a shite ton of comics, but I don't think I have a favorite Batman comic. But oh, Ryan, I hope you're okay. Twisting your ankle's a bitch. I haven't done that in a minute. I hope we get Caped Crusader Season 2. I think we will. I think we absolutely will. Because it's already in production. It was in production. Season 3 is another thing, but Season 2 is absolutely happening, I think. Unless they completely pull back from it. But guys, with that being said, we have been live for 2 hours and 12 minutes now. So, I didn't even think I was going to make it to 2 hours today. 2 hours is usually the limit, so I'm going to sign off now. There should be a new video tomorrow. I've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about. Stuff that I haven't given the Boba takes on. And yeah, Superman trailer's going to happen hopefully next week. And then we're going to be very, very busy. And you know what I hope for is just more Lantern stuff, more Supergirl stuff eventually as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your Monday, wherever you are. And I will be seeing you all in the next stream. Right before, though, I need to get into Silhouetted Super Chat. So we're not ending just yet. I mean, as I've said this before, I'm not going to end the stream if somebody sends in a Super Chat. So that is technically one way of keeping me here. I'm not going to just run away with the Super Chat money. So, Silhouetted Animator. I swear you do this. I swear you have done this before. Thank you very, very much for another one. Somehow, CW's Gotham Knights Facebook page updated. Did it? What did it update to? Was it like a insignificant update? Or is it like, wait, what happened? What happened? I also love what Grant Gustin said recently about the Force's storyline in The Flash. I felt so seen. Grant Gustin was basically calling it out and calling it stupid. And I was like, thank you. I was ripping into The Flash in my reviews on I was like, this is just so dumb. And I'm so glad to hear that Grant Gustin, the Flash himself, was basically saying the same thing. Missing our Gotham Knights, it said. Oh, okay. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. There's nowhere to run. Yeah, probably Silhouetted. Alright, guys. Our time has come. One thing I will do before I leave. For anyone who wants to join the Discord server, click the link in the live chat. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you for the support during the stream, to those who turned up, to those who super chatted, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye.